Okay, hello everyone. This is episode 16 of the weekly, and we have Sia here with us
Again.
again. And, and Keely and I are still sick.
Yeah.
This is take two. This is the first time we've done a take two.
Mm.
Um,
You two are making me sick. My stomach.
so we have the convoy that we were talking about. Or not the convoy. It's the
It was my citizenship.
no, you didn't want to talk about it.
I didn't?
No,
Then why did I bring it up?
I brought it up, and then you didn't want to talk about it.
No, I brought it up, but then I said I don't want to talk about it. It's a
Anyway,
thing.
Sia's getting his citizenship
It's the
tomorrow.
things that Iranians do, basically.
very early in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm becoming a citizen.
Hurrah.
Are you becoming a citizen or a subject, though? In reality.
I have to.
Do you? Yeah, what?
Yeah, pledge allegiance to the king.
You have to pledge allegiance to the Weave Cuck.
Damn. Too bad you didn't pledge
Hey, don't
allegiance to
insult my
the queen. Your king.
Could have been 2 months earlier or like
I know, yeah.
a year later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a year later. So
Oh, is that are we
that's the
are we
prediction.
guessing his
Hey,
death
no,
now?
I'm not saying anything about my sovereign.
Joe Biden, you know the Joe Biden. 1 year half, you're gonna pass away. Anyways, if you want to find that, look up Joe Biden, Joo Biden.
I haven't seen it.
That's a great meme.
Anyways, the inquiry on the
Yeah.
Emergencies Act.
So a bunch of bitches be complaining about absolutely fucking nothing.
Okay, so basically, what's going on is they're trying to distract from the fact that that the government said that for months. The government for months said that they invoked the Emergencies Act because the cops asked them to.
Mm.
They said that?
Marco Mendicino said that under oath. People said that under oath. Cabinet ministers said that under oath. And now in the inquiry, it's going to come out that all the police are going to say, no, we didn't ask.
Yeah, of course.
All the protest
they
stuff
did,
was
yeah.
done, right? So that's why they're doing all of this. Oh, I can't hear. Like, obviously, they want to villainize the convoy as much as possible, but I
Yeah,
think they're trying to distract from the real picture because this is about the Emergencies Act, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
that
definitely
doesn't matter in
distraction.
Canada. It's
Yeah.
just, it's really ridiculous in that
Yeah.
sense that you just have to make that other guy is the bad guy. So
See-
laws don't matter.
CBC did this whole article about how objective and fair and neutral the judge overseeing the inquiry is. And I read the article and it was basically just he said he was going to be neutral.
Yeah. Look, I have a friend.
so
Well,
people read the
that's pretty
headline
funny.
Yes.
and they assume that he has a record of being neutral, but literally all it says is that he says that he's neutral.
Yeah.
Which doesn't
I
make
have a
shit.
friend who I told you that taking her case to the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
She's waiting for the result.
Okay.
And basically, she had taken the Human Rights Tribunal
Yeah.
to the court.
Yeah.
And the courts dismissed her case that no, there is no, you can't bring a lawsuit against them.
Mm.
Now she's taken it to the Supreme Court just so she gets the right to sue them. You get it?
Yeah.
Not that like it's
Because you can't
basically
sue them unless you've appealed it all the way.
it's not that
Yeah.
like she is gonna win or not. It's not at all that. It's just that she has the right to sue them. She has a case to sue them or not.
Mm.
So in their basically response, all they had said was that the Human Rights Tribunal, like she's a Trump supporter and like she's like a racist and stuff. No, she's like a freaking Palestinian,
Yeah.
but she's white skinned, so they think she's white.
Oh my god,
It's
these
like-
idiots.
And they're like, oh, she's a Trump supporter. The judge was like, that has nothing to do with the
Yeah.
case, though.
Yeah. But that's the kind of stuff you'd expect
Yeah,
to see. in
exactly.
Yeah, it
That's how
is.
they're gonna be like, yeah, Convoy was racist though.
Yeah.
So
There was one flag. Yeah. And then there's the drone strikes. Have you heard about the kamikaze drone strikes in Kiev?
yeah, I've heard of
Yeah,
them.
they're the Iranian Shahed
Yep.
drones.
Yeah, Martyr. Yeah, I've been busy with mostly Iran stuff. I've kind of failed to follow a lot of things.
Yeah.
in the past months.
I mean, it makes sense.
So we might as well talk about that a bit. Like
Dude, It's too
Last
much. There's hope in people that I had seen hope dead in for decades.
Mm.
Their eyes are now bright.
Yes.
It's
So what do you-
crazy.
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
So what do you think are like the next steps of what's going to happen?
Oh, one interesting thing,
Mhm.
Russia, Sputnik, the official organ of the Russian government,
Mhm.
wrote an article
Oh,
yesterday
Yeah.
about the protests in Iran
Mhm.
and criticized the Iranian government
Hmm.
and advised them to listen to the young people and trying to stop the progress and change in the new generations is doomed to fail. That is friggin' big because everybody was like, you were also like Russia's gonna, what
Yeah.
if Russia sends troops? And I'm like, I told you, Russia is busy.
Yeah.
Russia's not gonna be bothering. Russia's always used the regime in Iran as like a patsy, taking advantage in front of the West and then taking points from the West to betray Iran. That's always been Russia's play.
Yeah, I guess from Russia's perspective, it makes sense. Like from the outsider's perspective, it always makes sense to just side with whichever side you think is going to win, right? You like, for example, maybe Russia would be pro-government if they thought the government was going to win.
Maybe, but yeah, that is a good point. Because this
Because
thing,
that still makes it a good sign.
yeah, this thing is not going anywhere,
Mhm.
even if they kill everybody. Like they've now attacked a school, high school,
Mm.
because they wanted to force to the high school, the teachers and whatever wanted to force the high school kids to sing. A few months ago, a song came out, like a propaganda song, that kids and whatever were singing like "Hello, Commander."
Mhm.
It was addressed at Khamenei,
Mhm.
and they made a whole big deal about it. Like made a music video, and like all over the world, like Shiite kids singing this. Even in Canada, they did it.
Mhm.
And that was like a few months ago. They felt completely like untouchable. And this week they tried to do that in one city, and the children just started chanting basically Testimony or whatever. And police attacked the high school and they
Jesus
killed a
Christ.
kid,
Oh,
like
no.
a fucking 14-year-old.
Yeah.
Ugh, these fucking idiots.
It's freaking mind blowing, dude. They're now literally attacking schools, not universities, schools. That's what I'm saying. This
That's the
is
thing.
different because it's
Yeah.
now young teenagers now
That's
involved.
the other thing with government is they don't know when to give up.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
They
That's
don't know when
always
to
the
give
thing.
up.
What are you gonna do?
You
Dude,
can't give up. You die.
you don't understand. It had reached the level that they did to Iranians. Okay, the only comparable would be Mongolians when they conquered Iran. They basically killed like 4/5 of the population because Iranians would not give in, and they basically humiliated Iranians to a degree that there were like stories that like a Mongolian walks up, finds this Iranian guy, gets his stuff,
Mhm.
and then he doesn't have a sword. He says, okay, put your head down and don't move. And the guy puts his head down and doesn't move until the guy goes and gets his sword and comes and kills him.
Hmm.
That was the level that they said Iranians had become so humiliated and little. And these guys were doing that. Like the guy came on TV and said, yeah, Iranian women should do like basically temporary marriage sigha in Islam
Mhm.
with Iraqi soldiers and stuff who need it. They need some companionship. So Iranian women should go do that. Literally on TV, he says, yeah, go
Now?
whore yourself. Yeah, months ago, a couple of months ago.
Why?
Because when you feel like these are, you own them.
Bro.
That's the level, dude. That's what
Yeah.
I'm talking about. It was like, yeah, you should go whore yourselves to these our Iraqi proxies. They need some pussy. Literally, that's the level of power that they feel they have, that they can talk to the people like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it freaking exploded. And they saw the hatred, the sheer, dude, there was somebody in Tehran put a sign on one of these electric posts, the telephone posts, whatever you call it, put a sign. There's this MP, Rasai, who had talked some real shit. He's a cleric who had talked some real shit about the revolutionaries and how these women just want sex and that's why they're in the street and crap like that. And somebody put a sign there. This post is reserved for Mr. Rasai. Please don't hang any mullahs on this one. In Tehran, in the middle of Tehran. That's how people are responding to them. Like, this is not going anywhere. Even if they shut it down by killing the thousands, it's open now.
Yeah.
The both
gates
know,
are
no,
open.
it's done.
Yeah.
And the regime is now afraid of people for the first time ever.
Yeah.
They used to be
They
wolves
fucking should
against
be.
the friggin', and now people are taking them out one by one here and there. Like this commander there and that
Yeah.
commander
Well,
there.
last time you said that this was the first time that people were like killing cops.
Oh yeah, I sent you the video that the guy is attacking. The couple of them are attacking,
Yeah.
and then people just, oh, there was one that like 30, 40 of these forces are running towards this. I was like, they should have put Benny Hill music on this. They're running that way, and the camera is just hold still. So they run in front of the camera towards like west, and then like 2 minutes later, they're all running back, and people are.
You know what that reminds me of? Did you ever watch Robin Hood, the original cartoon?
Exactly.
The opening, yeah.
It was like literally they should have put like a Benny Hill song or something. It's just- so it's not going anywhere. And I guess you're right. Like Russia is realizing, yeah, they're not gonna be able to manage this.
No.
And China is busy right now with
Yeah.
Taiwan stuff.
Yeah.
And with Russia stuff.
Yeah.
Russia's busy with the whole.
If they had a World War III plan,
Survival.
it's getting screwed up.
Oh yeah, Iran. What the regime is now doing? It's attacking the. It started shelling like Iraqi Kurdistan for no fucking reason. Because in their propaganda, it's the separatist Kurds that are paid by Israel to start the protests in Iran, and that's their narrative. So they're shelling them. I think they're trying to start a war somewhere, somehow.
Yeah.
Start an open war so they can crack down or silence things. But they're really out of ideas.
So what are some candidates for open wars for them to start? There's
Well,
you
that's
said
the thing.
Iraq.
That's the thing.
What can they do?
Except for Iraqi Kurdistan, there's nothing. Saudis are armed to the teeth.
Mhm.
Emirates is armed to the teeth. Turks, they're not gonna fucking dare touch.
Mm.
So Afghanistan Taliban just took power there, and Pakistan is a nuclear country. So there's nobody for them to start a war with.
Yeah.
They're really in a bad spot.
But they're in like such a corner, and like they still can't see it. They can't.
Dude, some people are coming. Some of them have smelled it. They're
Mhm.
coming on TV and saying, "Yeah, we should have like basically changed and blah blah blah." And dude, we have to apologize for that. And some other ones are coming like,
This is
"Yeah,
like the abusive husband trying to apologize after
Yeah.
he's already been shot in his
Yeah.
sleep.
Some of them are still doing it, and some of them are like, no, they're like, these are just they're looking for some. The commander of Tehran's police came on TV and said, these people that are protesting, they didn't even know Mahsa Amini who got shot.
What the fuck?
It's like, what?
Yeah, they didn't all know her.
No shit. Like, what? Thank
And
you.
somebody said Khamenei sent a message for George Floyd. Did he used to suck his dick? How did he know? Like that level of ridiculous.
Yeah. I didn't even know that he said something about George Floyd.
Oh, he did. He was. Oh, he had a whole speech that people have done. Basically, put it on Iranian protests and police's response to protesters.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
oh yeah, putting your knee on some guy's neck until he does, and then there's video of people like literally the guy grabbing the girl, pulling it, and her head slamming the fucking asphalt
Yeah.
Yeah.
and just not getting up, and
Right.
that kind of shit. It's becoming like there are, as I said, like people who had completely lost hope. There's like a
It's coming
skip
back.
in their step, and
Mm.
yeah, it's very cool to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has been interesting
Yeah,
to see.
and
some-
all of the regime's mouthpieces are now talking about, oh, it's a feminist revolution and
Oh, fuck
women's
off.
revolution.
So like, what's next?
I don't know, man. The biggest name is the prince, crown prince.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, there's still a lot of communists,
Mhm.
Yeah.
revolutionaries of the basically, we call them the rioters of 1979,
Mhm.
that still hate that regime.
Yeah.
Islamists,
Mhm.
religious nationalists, and communists.
Mhm.
Because that regime, yeah, they killed some of their friends.
Mhm.
But as I've always said, I wish he had massacred them.
Yeah.
Because Shah was the only one who knew what was coming.
Mhm.
There are speeches of him saying, this is the black and red regression.
Mhm.
They're afraid of where we're taking Iran, how fast we're progressing. They want to bring us back 1400 years. He says it.
Mhm.
And I was like, you knew, man. You had read their shit. You knew.
Well, it's kind of like when we talk
why
about.
didn't you stop? Because he was dying. He had cancer, and he literally said, "I don't want my legacy to be he's the king who massacred his people." And I'm like, no, man. They fucking ruined. They destroyed your ruined the country. They took us back 1500 fucking years, and you should have just freaking killed them, massacred them, because you know they were ISIS.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like how we were talking about how Trump talked about the social media companies, so he could have done more.
Yeah, exactly. But again, I understand he had cancer, terminal cancer at the time,
Mhm.
and he was worried about how he's gonna be remembered in history
Mhm.
Yeah.
as a king who
Yeah, you
massacred
have to
people.
worry about
Yeah.
that kind of thing when you're among
And
players.
at the time, socialists had taught Islamists how to talk.
Mhm.
Electricity is going to be free, oil is going to be free, gas is going to be free, everything's going to be free, and they're stealing from you. And like GDP is 75, basically like 15, $20 a day or something.
Mhm.
They should pay you that. They didn't know what GDP was. And they were like, yeah, they should pay you that money. And that kind of shit. With that, and there was an economic crisis at the time, global economic recession. Those basically they bribed people to come to the streets,
Mhm.
and Shah didn't want to kill him,
Yeah.
so he left. And these guys, I don't see them moving out
Mhm.
very peacefully.
Mhm. Wow.
Well, they know they ain't coming back if they leave.
The only place they have is Syria and Lebanon to go to.
Mm.
And Lebanon is too unstable, so it would be Syria. But again, in Syria, they would be an outsider.
Mm.
They do have like a few hundred billions, maybe,
Mhm.
Mhm.
but I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully, they all go and try to start an ISIS something there. So,
So they can get wrecked more.
Hopefully, that would be the best scenario. But because they don't believe in country,
Yeah.
they do not believe in country. It's exactly like the communist thing. It's like the Islamic caliphate. It's like, no, country is just a Western concept and blah blah blah. Not Western, but like a how do you put it? Like a before Islam concept. That
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Mhm.
So they don't believe in country. So that's good in a sense, but that's also they would easily bomb a city.
Yeah.
So that's my chunk on Iran. So let's move on to something else.
All right, moving on.
Yeah. Well, the hurricane. Okay, we got more hurricane news. It seems like it's always the same. It seems like it's not really changing.
Well, I
much.
mean, like, yeah, the hurricane hasn't really
Where?
calmed down.
East
It's-
Coast biggest hurricane to ever hit Canada.
Yeah,
Canada?
yeah,
Oh.
it, like wrecked.
And it was very late. We had
GI
like a
and
whole summer.
Jeez, I
We-
missed that.
We had like
Yeah.
we had like a whole unusual summer of no hurricanes, and then September, freaking hurricanes, biggest one ever to hit
This
Canada.
summer has been weird, man.
Yeah,
There was no rain at all.
yeah, there was a lot of crops that died.
Yeah.
And then what happened was also, you know how it got cold really quickly?
Yeah.
So all the grapes died.
Yep.
Yeah.
So last year all the grapes died. So we were kind of like running on like because it's like for wine, we were running on storage and stuff. But now this is the second year and now it's worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's far, far worse.
Yeah, climate is definitely changing.
Yeah.
Mm, it's changing much faster than we would from man-made climate change because you wouldn't expect it to be like threshold
Yeah.
all of
Yeah.
a sudden 2020.
In 12 years,
Yeah.
nothing, and then suddenly.
Yeah.
It's definitely through other means, and it's definitely Mother Nature herself.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What do you think about that sun thing that they say there's?
Ground solar minimum.
Yeah.
I think that's happening. I think that's like on the more well-established side of the spectrum of like what could happen.
Hmm.
But yeah, every 400 years, the sun goes into a state of lower activity. So then the transition into and out of that state kind of changes all the patterns. So then the agriculture gets screwed up and then a lot of governments get overthrown. So yeah, it has to do with like two different magnetic forces in the sun interacting with each other and going into an interference.
Like in the
pattern.
last couple of years, we've had unprecedented flooding rain in Iran,
Okay.
like levels that has never been seen. Like in the desert, there was flood suddenly.
Yeah.
Like small villages disappeared. That level,
Yeah.
Hmm.
and this has never been like
It's
ever.
weird. In 2020, they had the once in a century floods in China. And then in 2021, they had the once in a millennium floods in China. And then this year, no rain.
Yeah.
Just drought. Yeah. So there's a story about ExxonMobil coming back from Russia empty-handed with his tail between its legs.
What happened there?
Well, Exxon was going to try to get a Russian project opened, but Russia shut it down, basically.
Oh,
So it's kind of weird. There's like, it's hard to tell like who's trying to shut down what at this point. Like whether Russia wants to shut down all
look,
the gas.
Russia
or-
has the upper hand
Yeah.
here. There is no arguing, and they know it. What they're
Did we talk about-
gonna go into a nuclear war with Russia? Russia has more nuclear war than any nuclear bombs than anybody combined. Okay, and it has the energy. What are you gonna do? Winter's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Europe, more than half of its energy comes from Russia. What are you gonna do? Nothing.
Did we talk about Nord Stream already
No.
I
last
don't
time?
think we did.
No.
So that happened since last time, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think about that? Because it
Mhm.
seems like it seems like there's almost a consensus that America did it.
I don't know if America did it, but definitely Russia didn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Either
you-
Ukrainians or Americans. Yeah.
Yeah. So Russia didn't do that. Anti-Russia did that, right?
Yeah. Russia
Shut it
actually
down the
bragged
oil.
that they didn't hit it completely. You make it useless.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm wondering about this. It's like, why? I guess this makes sense too, because this is basically like Russia taking a project that was supposed to be Exxon's and then nationalizing it, basically. So
Yeah.
it makes sense in that sense. Initial arrive can cost for $80,000. He's now got to 54 million.
What?
Like, I
Typical-
beg your pardon.
What's the Rive Can?
ArriveCan
The
is
app?
the app
The
that
app
you use
to get back into the country
during COVID.
is to verify your vaccine status when you come back into Canada from somewhere else.
Okay.
And it was supposed to cost $80,000 and it costed 54 million. And now it probably not even counting all of the legal costs because now the government, so that the people took the government to court and then they dropped it. They dropped the app.
Yeah,
So it's not a requirement
because it's
anymore.
fucking stupid, and also
So
It's the only country that does it
for
still.
just
So they
digging jets.
so they wasted all this money and now they don't even do the app anymore.
Yeah,
'Cause
and everybody warned them prior
Because
to
they-
that too. They were like, "Hey, this is going to be a massive waste of
This
money
is-
and time."
This is well, the point was that it was going to be
Yeah, but
like,
that's
on-
irrelevant.
the point was that it was going to be illegal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So then as soon as they realized it was going to be illegal, they
That's
finally undid it. But it's like, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not for governments. The idea of it's like a waste of time, and so
no,
you don't
no,
have
no.
that
I
concept.
mean, like the citizens were screaming that it
I
was
know,
gonna be
I
a
know.
waste of time and money.
But the whole
that's not going to stop a government from doing
their
something
whole
fucking
thing is
stupid.
how can we take the money and use it for bullshit?
Mhm.
how we can grow the government. So of course they're gonna love a bullshit
I think
scenario, but the
It
fact
didn't
that it
really
was
grow the
illegal.
government, did it though?
Well, yeah,
Like,
that's but the fact that it was illegal. That's really
the
dumb.
clearest example I think that was mainstream knowledge was when um, during 2020 there was a former Liberal MP that got a $270 million contract to make PPE, and his company was like a shell corporation, and he
Oh, yeah.
subcontracted all of that out.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty much that's how it works. And that's also part of the reason why the dollar is at the end, because since 1971, we entered this like economic paradigm of when the economy is bad, government borrow, spend money, put money into the economy. And then when the economy gets better, you suck it out, right? But you throw $100 into the economy to do $20 of benefit, and then you try to suck out $100.
Yeah.
And you keep doing that over and over again for 50 years, and you get to where we are now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
54
So Loblaw's gonna freeze all the no-name prices until the end of January.
see, you could called it.
It's
Literally
like-
called it
It's like, what's the point of?
what the government would do.
Well, no, this isn't the government. This
Well,
is the
not the
company.
government,
It's
but
like a
yeah,
PR
the company,
strategy.
and then eventually.
But it's like, what good is freezing your prices if you can't produce anything?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, so no-name brands.
Yeah.
They're saying that their prices are not going to go up until end of January, which is so crazy because imagine we're back in like 2018, right? Imagine a company makes the news for promising not to increase prices for like 3 whole months. They come out and they say our prices are not going to go up for the next 3 months, and this is like a huge.
That's
like,
freaking
PR
weird.
moment.
That's like, yeah.
But the point is,
This
what's the
sounds
point?
like Iran when the inflation was hitting hard.
Yeah,
Literally, that was the promises. No, this is not gonna go. I remember them. Like,
yeah.
the meat is not gonna go up above 500.
Well, if it doesn't go up, there's
Then-
not going to be any.
Yeah. 2 months later, it's not gonna go up 1,000. 3 months later, it's not
It's they're gonna keep
Those
fucking-
promises are for countries that are in trouble.
Yeah.
Inflation is transitory.
Yeah.
That sounds like, oh,
Yeah.
that's bad.
So that Chinese Congress is happening now. Do you know where the meeting where they
Yeah,
pick the leader?
the parties, the whole
Yeah, so that's happening now. I haven't really heard anything.
National Assembly.
heard
what do they
anything
call it?
about
Something like
Yeah.
that. National Congress.
No, okay.
Yeah, so I haven't really heard anything interesting about it though.
Yeah.
No, me either.
It seems like Xi Jinping's just gonna. It's just gonna be as
he
expected.
Seems like he's in power. A lot of talks
Yeah.
about
There was
how
some
he's-
murmurs, but
Yeah, but I don't think so. I think he has solidified himself enough.
Bloomberg was still sucking his dick today. I saw an
Oh.
article from
Who
Bloomberg
doesn't?
today
Yeah, that's true.
talking about how China was good because they were focusing on development and stuff.
Oh my god.
Disney is freaking sucking it.
Yeah, like-
Who the fuck is Bloomberg? Disney thanks their concentration camp in his
Yeah.
Bloomberg.
Yeah. So, drought news. It's just like random nonsense news. Liz Truss, I haven't really heard anything too interesting about Liz Truss. Oh, okay, so let's talk about what's
conservatives in Britain.
Mhm.
They are so screwed.
they are really
Oh,
Because-
yeah.
It was the time that they had the time to do something, actually, if they were actually patriotic or cared at all.
their weave.
Yeah,
Mm.
but they're completely they're done. Britain's done for because conservatives were the one who were supposed to do something,
Yeah.
and they completely went with the globalists.
You know what they did?
Completely.
You know what they did recently? They started printing money again. So
Yeah.
everybody's fighting inflation, trying to suck the
When
money
in
back in.
doubt, print money.
And yeah, basically the expectation is they'll start giving up and start printing more money. That's how we get to hyperinflation. You don't go to hyperinflation in one go, right? So they said they were going to print money, but it was going to be temporary. It was going to be 2 weeks to flatten the yield curve,
Yeah.
and then they were going to start unprinting money again. So they started unprinting money, and then they said, okay, we're going to print money for 2 weeks and then keep unprinting.
Stop.
Wah, wah. And then Liz Truss, there was this policy that came out about tax cuts. They were gonna have this whole new program of tax cuts, and the markets lost their shit. They were like, the government is already on the verge of bankruptcy. You're talking about tax cuts. So then the market started tanking. So you know what she did? She fired the finance minister.
Fucking moron.
Get out of here with your stupid idea. How dare you come up with that?
You.
As if he came up with
Let that be a lesson to
Let that be a lesson to the audience. Yeah, so that's kind of a brief
Oh,
picture
wow.
of what's
It
going
was
on in
him.
the UK. Yeah, so the UK is kind of hitting the fan. More Ukraine stuff. This was the article I was talking about from Bloomberg. Here's what China experts are saying about Xi's big speech, and it was all just like, wow, they're focusing on
Wow.
development,
Yes,
and it's a safe place to
yeah,
invest after all.
serious
And
dick sucking.
yeah, there's like there's some municipal elections going on. Yo, okay, I want to take a second and talk about the municipal election. Okay,
In Canada?
in Canada, it's like non-partisan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
the
non-partisan.
Crane, yeah.
The worst thing ever is when the politicians start working together.
Yeah.
And
Always.
and the thing is, they did this on purpose. What happened was, municipalities were very local and everybody knew each other, and there was no party lines, and everybody could get along and get stuff done. So they were like, wow, isn't this great? Why don't we make this part of government bigger? So that's when they did all of the amalgamations in the
Yep.
90s. So all the Toronto became this fucking huge thing. So then the councillors are still, oh, we're local and working together, but now there's this like huge bureaucracy.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, but it showed its face very
Yeah.
clearly with the Rob Ford situation
Like there's no
when everybody went behind Tory.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, liberals and everybody went behind Tory.
It would be like more honest if there were just parties. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like you shouldn't have like we shouldn't have this federal government, and then you got the provincial government, and then you got these like regional governments, and then you got like municipal governments. It's like just have a province and then you have your village,
Yeah,
right? You don't need to have a bajillion different layers.
but that's the nature of power, dude.
Yeah.
It consolidates. Have you heard of biological Leninism?
No.
So biological Leninism is like contrasted with classical Leninism. So classical Leninism would be like coup, overthrowing the government kind of stuff. Whereas biological Leninism is the stuff that's happening now, where it kind of like spreads like a virus. So they like seep into all the positions of influence and start creating like a cathedral. So right now that's mostly like the universities and the media.
Yeah.
So then the idea is, it's the idea of the Cthulhu. The media and the universities, they keep dragging the social like Overton window further and further left. They get crazier and crazier, and it just has to get more outlandish. And the point is the point is to keep doing that until power is absolutely consolidated, and then you don't have to go more left. So basically the idea is, in terms of social progressivism, you keep going left until you reach totalitarianism,
Yeah.
and then you stop.
Oh yeah.
And then the idea is that in America, we keep going left, but we haven't reached totalitarianism, so it just keeps going. And now it's like
Yeah,
teachers
because
with kids
that's
and,
the
like,
problem, because of the system
yeah,
that those great men set up.
yeah, exactly.
There's still so much check and balances that no matter what you do, there's a Supreme Court, there's the
Yeah.
thing, da, 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 da.
Yeah,
So you can't just go boom.
yeah,
We got it.
Yeah, in Russia, it was like free the serfs, and it was basically totalitarianism, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, in America, no, you're not. So they keep going.
Yeah. They just
Men can have babies. And like, it's like,
yeah.
okay.
I hope we get to totalitarianism soon then.
Yeah. But
anyways.
I was thinking recently about comics and the role they played
In
culturally in ruining.
America?
Yeah,
Okay. So what do you think?
the idea of free speech, they really abused it. Comics, they
yeah.
attacked every aspect of tradition in America very openly
Yeah.
and proudly.
Yeah.
Nothing remained sacred.
Yeah.
And it was cool to go further and further
Yeah.
and further. Like South Park once did a couple of episodes
Yeah.
actually reflecting
Yeah.
that did we contribute to this Are we responsible to a point? It's basically there's a scene that
I want to see that one.
there's a scene that Cartman is mud wrestling with Honey Boo Boo. TLC, the learning channel at Honey Boo Boo. Do you remember Honey Boo Boo?
Okay,
It was
yeah.
this southern backwards crazy
Yeah.
household.
It
that,
was purely for
Yeah,
pageants.
the
and
baby
stuff.
is pageant, but it's like a fat baby, and the mom
Yeah.
is feeding it butter and sugar, and it's like, and they you can barely understand them. They're so like
Yeah, they're
Appalachian or whatever.
ridiculously hick.
And that's Learning Channel. The Learning Channel put that basically reality show,
Yeah.
and Salzburg was commenting like, "What happened? Like, did we do this? Did we were we part of this? We did go pretty hard on things." Like,
Are you guys okay up
literally,
there?
like, that was the thing. And so the comics really freaking, I think they did disservice. Because I don't know why, because I was listening to comedy, to stand up in my Spotify. I have a stand up mix every day. And the stuff that I hear, it's all about like, yeah, they say it's a slippery slope. Yeah, this is gonna happen. And I'm like, yeah, all of this shit happened.
Yeah,
I'm
unfortunately.
shrugging and I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this happened.
Well, it's like
Fuck me.
yeah.
The stuff that they're making fun of. Oh, yeah, you're afraid this is gonna happen. Yeah,
Yeah.
this happened. That's for like 10 years ago, but yeah.
Well, that's like when I play Grand Theft Auto and we listen to the radio in
Yeah.
the game, and they have like
It's all
satire
sad-
news.
Yeah, all
but it's
satire,
like
but it's real. That's the fucked up part.
Yeah. Anyway, that was just the non sequitur. But
Yeah.
yeah, I was thinking about that today, but I was listening to the stand-ups talking about that kind of stuff, and I'm like, yeah. You said, man, you mentioned the teacher with the boobs. I was like, yeah, they were talking about it.
Honestly.
Yeah, it was slippery slope. Yeah.
yeah, what if you stop
Yeah.
bullying trans people? There's gonna be teachers with boobs like this.
Yeah, you think all these trans people are waiting to go to women's bathrooms and like,
You,
yeah.
you think
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
you think there's gonna be a doctor that calls herself Titus Deletus on TikTok and brag about how many tits of minors they cut off that week? Did you see that?
No.
Oh my goodness.
It's a
yeah.
thing.
Oof.
Yeah. Anyways,
Oof.
there's a lot of flu news.
There is.
A lot of flu news. We got the Loblaw story again. Here, let's just pause. Hold on a second. I gotta resume the screen share. Okay, so we took a brief pause. We were talking about how there's lots of flu stories. Telus is trying to add like an extra charge for paying your phone bill by credit card. Because this is getting to the part of Google News that's like not interesting yet. Technology, you got entertainment, you got sports. Sometimes there's something interesting in like science or health. But looks like that's the rest of the interesting
Yeah.
stuff. We're gonna watch
We're
this.
talking about the Italian Prime Minister
Emmanuel Macron.
and how she is the single only politician in the West that has hit every single point that we are concerned about, every single one of them in a very articulate way.
Mhm.
And then Macron basically called their rhetoric disgusting and disturbing and whatever.
Yeah.
And this is her response to Macron.
Wait, hold on a second. Just so
Emmanuel
that
Mac-
we talk a little bit about what you're talking about. You said she hits all the points that we're concerned about.
Basically, I sent you the speech that she
Mhm.
talks about basically that this globalist agenda, basically why they want to attack the family,
Mhm.
why gender is an enemy for them, because they want us as nameless, faceless, genderless consumers,
Yeah.
just numbers in the mercy of these capitalist corporations and the financial speculators.
Yeah.
And basically, she hits all of it really well, the attack on family and everything,
Yeah.
and very articulate way. And this is another speech when we can play that one too. But this is the one when she responds to Macron, and she answers in a very, from very, like, it's not a right-wing thing at
Yeah.
all.
Okay, let's see it.
Macron. Emmanuel Macron,
She said Macron
Yeah.
ridiculously.
Macron.
Macron.
Emmanuel Macron ci ha definiti vomitevoli, cinici, irresponsabili. E qui la stampa italiana a dire, hai visto che ha detto
So we're gonna go back.
Macron. E qui la stampa italiana a dire, hai visto che ha detto Macron, che siamo irresponsabili. Vergogna. Irresponsabili Emmanuel Macron sono quelli che hanno bombardato la Libia perché gli dava fastidio che l'Italia avesse un rapporto privilegiato in campo energetico con Gheddafi, esponendoci al caos migrazione nel quale ci troviamo. Cinici Emmanuel Macron sono i francesi che mandano la gendarmerie a rispedire indietro qualunque immigrato tenti di passare il
Gendarmerie is the police.
Hmm.
To return any immigrant trying to cross the border.
confine a Ventimiglia. Ma soprattutto perché le cose vanno raccontate come si deve, vomitevole e chi... Buono, che lo vuoi tu? Ci hai mai tolto il pato? Vomitevole è chi, come la Francia, continua a sfruttare l'Africa stampando moneta per 14 nazioni africane sulle quali applica il signoraggio, facendo lavorare bambini nelle miniere, estraendo materie prime come accade in Niger, dove la Francia estrae il 30% dell'uranio che gli serve a far camminare le centrali nucleari e il 90% dei nigerini vive senza elettricità. Non ci venire a fare lezioni, Macron,
Come teach
perché
us lesson,
l'Africa
Macron.
scappa da voi.
They're abandoning the
E la
country because
soluzione
of you.
non è spostare gli africani in Europa, è liberare l'Africa da certi europei.
Free the blacks.
Oh boy.
Transfer Africans to Europe. Liberate them from you.
Yeah.
Accettiamo lezioni. Chiaro?
Hot diggity.
Hot diggity. Yeah. Okay, I think that's probably a good place to stop for the week.
Yeah,
Um,
you might have to do some editing in there.
But yeah, we'll see if we'll
Here
do
and
some
there.
editing. But yeah. So that's all for this week. Thanks everybody for listening, and we'll see you again next week.
Bye.
Arrivederci.